Of the 65 books I've read this year, these 8 stand out for me for their fine writing and authentic voices. In addition, the characters and stories, as well as my experience reading them, have stayed with me long after reading them so I can still discuss them. I'm Betsy Robinson, a writer and editor, and I read like a writer and an editor. And because of that, for my enjoyment, I need really, really good writing. So, in no particular order, here are the writers and writing that I've most been excited about this year. Richard Powers' Bewilderment. Above all, this is a love story between a father and his son. The son has learning difficulties, and together they find a solution to them. And the story, it's not very long, but it's big, and it's heartbreaking, and it's also uplifting. Helene Turstein's An Elderly Lady Must Not Be Crossed. This book is an absolute hoot. It's called a series of short stories, but really it's a novel in chapters. And it's about an old lady serial killer. And it is so much fun. Everything about it is fun. It's made in a little 4¼ inch by 6¼ inch hardback. And it's even fun to hold. It's a cozy serial murderer story. Steve Tultz. Steve Tultz's Here Goes Nothing goes on one of my all-time favorite book lists. Steve Tultz, think Robin Williams for spontaneity and hilariousness. Um, this is a story of a philosopher thief, and he lives, he dies, and then the story goes on into an afterlife, and it's hilarious. You could not predict what happens here, and Steve Tultz is such a fine writer. This is my second book by him, and I will read anything this guy writes. Andre Alexis, 15 Dogs. Alexis is a Canadian writer, and he did a series of 5 books, and each book borrows from a different genre. And the genre for 15 Dogs is the apologue, which is a form where animals play speaking roles. And the dogs in this book are so full, such real characters, so full of humanity that the human characters in it are even more poignant. I couldn't put it down. It was a great book. Catherine Cressman Taylor's Address Unknown. Just the title gives me goosebumps, and I read it many, many months ago. This is a short story that is published in a book form. It was published after she died by her son. And it's an exchange of letters between 2 Germans during the 1930s, and one of them is a Jew who escaped to the United States, and the other is his business partner in Nazi Germany. And if you want to understand how divisions in cultures happen, read this book. Oh, it's a killer. It'll knock your socks off. Ann Patchett, These Precious Days. This is a wonderful book of essays, and I defy you to read it and not wish that Ann Patchett were your best friend. It's about friendship, it's about life, it's about love. It's warm, it's beautifully written. Ann Patchett can do no wrong. She's just a fine, fine writer. Marcy Dermansky's Bad Marie. I discovered Marcy Dermansky this year through her very popular book, Hurricane Girl. And so that inspired me to go back and read her earlier work. And I've got to say, I prefer Bad Marie. If you like characters, really bad characters who behave badly, read Bad Marie. It's funny, but it's also got a lot of substance, and it's got her same style of writing. She writes in very pithy short sentences, and it works for her. It's all hers. She's just a fine writer, and she's got a wonderful sense of humor, and she's not copying anybody. Ethan Hawke's A Bright Ray of Darkness. Forget everything you think you know about Ethan Hawke as an actor. This guy has serious literary writing chops, and he writes here a story of an actor in the throes of a divorce. And it's hilariously funny. It's not only a story of a guy's life falling apart, but it's one of the best theater books I've ever read for conveying what the life in the theater is and what the real art that originally draws so many people of acting is. Uh, it's inventive, as I said, it's hilarious, and it's just really, really, really well written. I highly recommend it. We humans spend a lot of our time reposting things that other people think. I prefer original thought and inspiration, and these writers have made me very, very happy this year.